Hello, everybody. Happy early Halloween, and welcome to the second episode of Adam's Accounts. As usual, we will have the same, not the same, but three segments. The first segment, the first account this week, the Halloween account. That is the rotating segment. We asked everybody one question, the first ever fully pre-recorded segment. That's really exciting. Up next, we're bringing on our special guest athlete. You'll find out who that is in a minute if you don't already know because he hasn't told you. Then finally, we're going to go to Adam's final account. I'm going to share a fun experience this week, again, unscripted other than the general topic of it. Yes, to answer a few questions, this is live. So I saw a lot about that last week. It is live. I can see your chats, though I'm not always watching. Other than that, there's not a lot to do. So let's get right in to the Halloween account, our holiday special segment. Hello and welcome to the Halloween account. I went around Hunter interviewing people and I put together a short little video asking everybody the same one question. So let's take a look at that video now. All right, Emma, if you had to be a professional athlete for Halloween, who would you be?
That's a good question.
Who would it be?
I was thinking about this. LeBron James.
I don't have an answer.
I would be. I would be. That's a good question. I have no idea. Michael Jordan.
Probably Messi because he's the greatest of all time.
But that's awesome. Pete Alonso because he's like a polar bear, so I think that would be a cool costume.
Who would you be?
Shohei Ohtani. Daniel Vogelbach in the 1980s Astros jersey.
I would probably be R9 Ronaldo.
Yeah, let's choose Marcus Rashford. Come on, Man United.
Jalen Hurts.
If you had to be a professional athlete for Halloween, who would you be?
LeBron James. Switch.
Thank you so much to everybody who was lovely enough to participate. I guess in that little segment there. I mean, I believe that's 13 people in total. That's not including the people that I cut. Yeah, so let's, without further ado, get right into the athlete's account. Jasper, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show. Welcome.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Adam.
Sorry it was so last minute. We don't need to talk about that right now. So, yeah, a few little fun tidbits. I mean, I received an email. I received an email a little while ago that said, apparently that you guys are ranked, the boys cross country team is apparently ranked #1 in the state. News to me. I mean, what led to that, and what do you think of that? What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, there's many ways to approach this, I'd say. I mean, first you could look at statistics, right? We have um, we have four seniors on the varsity team, two of which are D1 recruits to Columbia and UPenn. We also have all of our varsity members are top 5 in their grade for cross country and track. You could also look at it as like our training. We are very dedicated. We have practice every day, except for days before meets. And even if there's not a designated practice, you have to usually run on your own. And then it's also like I guess the morale is pretty nice as well. So we all enjoy track meets and cross country meets and practices. It's just a nice place, and we're all together, and it's fun.
Yeah, it seemed a lot of camaraderie, I must say. So, we're gonna go to our next question. All right, you said you didn't practice before meets, so meets seem like a pretty big deal, which I would anticipate they are. So, take me through a day in the life of Jasper when he's running a track meet.
Okay, well, so we usually have the higher level meets are on weekends, like usually Saturdays. So it's usually in the morning. Um, so we're supposed to arrive 2 hours before the meet, but you know, uh, I don't know who wants to really get there 2 hours before the meet. Sometimes we arrive an hour 30, etc. And we have a warm up where we usually run a mile to 2 miles at a relaxed tempo where we can have a conversation and not get tired. We do dynamics to like warm up our bodies in other ways besides just what we did while running. And we also have time to like cheer on our teammates in other races. So that's kind of like the pre-race uh, idea, I guess. So right now it's if you didn't know, it's in the fall. The running season is cross country, where about it can be as many as like 300, even more people all lined up in one starting line. Therefore, it's a kind of hassle to get to the front. So it's a full-on sprint for the first maybe 200, 300 meters to get into good placing because that's key in cross country. I guess we mostly run in Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx, if you didn't know. Um, and it's for the freshmen at least. We have a relatively short course. It's about 1.64 miles, and I guess I can walk you through the course, right? It's like starts off on grass and it stays flat for the first give or take half mile. At the mile mark, there is a sharp, steep uphill, but just for a little bit, and then followed by a nice downhill, and then flat to the finish line. Um, so it's also in a loop, so it's very easy to cheer for everyone. And yeah, it's just an overall. It's a meet days are nice. Um, and relating it back to the first point where we were talking about our training, uh, sometimes we even like when other schools finish their meets, they just go home. However, the hunter team we usually stay behind and do more hills, more. We go to a track, you know. Um, we use our meets as training sessions as well to see what we can target in coach's words, to make our weaknesses our strengths. And yeah, so
I mean, you talked a little bit earlier, and you mentioned before the show about some little your warm up, and it's a very special type of warm up this year, particularly the jogging. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, I guess we have uh, so in cross country, there's multiple different groups, right? You have the varsity team, which in cross country, I don't know if everyone knows the scoring of cross country. Unlike popular belief, cross country is a team sport actually. So you have 7 people on the team in varsity, the top 5 of which score. The sixth can be used sometimes for a tiebreaker, and you add up the points of everyone. First place being 1 point, second place being 2 points, so on and so forth. And whoever has the lowest points in the end, whichever school has the lowest points, wins the meet. So it's not only just about having 2 or 3 fast runners; it's about having a group of like good runners. You know, there are some we last year we had the 2 seniors now who are the D1 recruits. We had them, but the rest of the team wasn't as like up to the par they are now. And so even though we had some of the fastest runners in the state, we still were unable to pull off like city wins and borough wins. So we so now we have, but everyone's been training throughout the year, the summer, and now everyone on the varsity team is like everyone is a strength on that team, and we have state. I shouldn't say we. They have states in 2 weeks around, and so yeah, and we're hoping for big things there. Uh, Sorry about the jogging, right? So uh, there's the varsity team, and then there's like the JV team, the freshman team. There's different like sects based on how fast you are. And the varsity team, they're really fast, so they like to do long runs at a fast pace. But us more like, in the middle guys, we like to do like nice chill runs.
Gonna
So we,
interject here.
yeah,
Where do you think I would be? You know my speed. You know
I
my.
mean, if whoever puts in the great thing about cross country and track is we have a great coach. We have great coaches, plural, sorry. Uh, and if you join the team, you're definitely going to improve a lot. And, there's no, sky's the limit kind of thing, Uh,
Yep.
but I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe you would start in the freshman run. There's no problem with that.
I
We're
would
all
start at the
freshmen.
freshman when I get to be a senior, probably. Is
I don't
that
know.
allowed?
There all the seniors we have are fairly fast, so not really, but I don't know. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
Um,
And also
we
another question. Sorry to be interjecting with
Yeah.
the questions all of a sudden, but you mentioned as well there are, I believe, six. Sorry, yes, there are six runners to like a team. I don't know how many, but
There's
could some
seven.
schools?
Six of them are. The seventh is a placeholder in case anybody
Sorry,
like falls or something.
yeah,
But yeah,
sorry,
there's
seven.
six counted, but seven total in the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
So you have well, last week our esteemed guest Daria mentioned that they have exhibition matches. Do they have something like that if a team has 50 kids on it at a big school,
Uh,
for example?
Good question. Actually, we have cities coming up this weekend, uh, Saturday. And even though varsity is limited to 7 people, the junior varsity team, I believe, can take as many as you want. And there's also even another section for if your school is a small school, which with not enough people to make a real team, you can just compete individually there. So even at high level meets like cities and boroughs where you like there's going to be some fast times, everyone is able to run usually.
Where are cities exactly?
So Van Cortlandt Park is the site for most of our meets. Uh, we've had a few, like maybe like one or two outside of the Van Cortlandt Park. But once they get to like the varsity team gets to the higher level meets, like states is upstate, and if they go to regionals, it's in a different place. But yeah, so usually it's in Van Cortlandt.
Sorry, I interjected you. Going back to what's it called? Sorry, going back to the slow running. You called it the Ocho,
Yeah,
I believe.
so we when we run slow, we like to call it ochos because you know what makes things cooler than just saying it in English? Saying it in Spanish, right? So if you say, so we like running at like an 8-minute pace, which is like nice conversational pace for us. And so we just repeat ochos, ochos. And there are times where the coach allows us to run ochos. And we're all very happy because it means we're not huffing and puffing. We're just having a nice leisurely run while having a conversation, which is nice.
That's fun. Um, any favorite teammates?
Uh, I could never. No. I mean, everyone's fun on the team. There are a few people that I like look up to, right? Of course, like the seniors. Um, they're it's I'll this is the only year that I'll be running with them, so it's like Coach Potter likes to say like to take in all their knowledge that they have of the sport of running like now while you can before they go off to college. But really, everyone on the team is nice. It's a great team. I don't dislike anyone on that team. Um, so yeah, if anybody who's watching right now wants to join cross country, you really should.
So I mean, we had Daria give this pitch last week when I was getting the wheel up. We have the wheel up and prepared this time. So, do you want to give the little or a little track pitch in general? Because I know you like generally all track.
So what about it?
I don't know. Do you want to give a pitch last week? I don't know if you saw Daria gave a pitch for going out to the tennis game. Do you want to highlight some more fun points about track that you haven't already mentioned?
Yeah, sure. So, like, I mean, we have to every day before a run. Usually, we have core, which is it sounds painful, and it is painful. I get tired very easily from those. I don't think I've ever actually done a full core session because I always get too tired on the planks or something. But it's just fun. We're all on these stinky mats that are like probably 15 years old. Um, and if you take off your socks, they're definitely gonna uh, give you athlete's foot. But it's a vibe, and uh, and even though we're all like sweating and we're all like tired and like barely able to talk because our abs are so sore, it's fun. We've had a few moments where it was a little bit chaotic with like some wrestling fun and everything. Um, but yeah, it's really fun, and everyone on the team is great.